morning, buenos dias a todos. Welcome to Cafecito con HACE. I hope everyone is staying well and are preparing for the holidays. My name is Raja Casilla. I am one of the Partnership Engagement Manager here at HACE, and I will be your host today. HACE stands for Hispanic Alliance for Career Enhancement, and we are a national nonprofit organization established since 1982, whose mission since 1982 has been to provide the tools, insights, and access to all members to support them in their careers. One of the things that we take pride in is touching the lives of our members at every level in their career, starting all the way from high school to executive level with our development programs. If this is your first time tuning in Cafecito, welcome. If this is your regular tune in Wednesday morning, welcome back. We do have an event coming up for those who are in a career transition or exploring. We do have an upcoming recruitment series focused on lifestyle and retail industry. This will be tomorrow, Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Central Time or 12:30 p.m. Central Eastern Time. Sorry. For some of our partners that are participating on Ulta Beauty, Bath and Body Works, and Epsilon, which we have here today. Make sure to register in the link in the chat or go to the ASE website. And again, not sure? Come meet some awesome people. They're amazing opportunities and what the organization are doing in the DEI space. Again, this is tomorrow, Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Central Time, 12:30 Eastern Time. Well, today I have the pleasure of introducing our guest speaker, Jen Mahone Rightler, Epsilon Chief Diversity Officer and Senior Vice President, Global Diversity, Equity and Inclusion, Corporate Social Responsibility and Wellness Program. Jen leads Epsilon DEI effort by championing, developing, and executing programs that enhance a culture, diversity, inclusion, and belonging within the company. Welcome, Jen.
Good
So
morning.
we'll get right into it. The cafecito. How do you like your cafecito slash coffee prepare or your morning beverage of choice?
So it's simple. I just like a little bit of almond milk and then just dark roast coffee. And then it depends. Like if I am starting, like I go to Starbucks or something, I like, some whipped cream added on top of it. But usually I just like it, almond milk, oat milk, and then dark roast.
Nice. I like the almond milk touch. I'm a big
Yeah.
almond milk advocate. So, the thing about Cafecito that I like really is the opportunity that we get to share with one another and get to learn. And so, we encourage you all tuning in to network in the chat and get your question ready for Jen. So, Jen, can you tell us about your culture and professional background?
Sure. So culturally, so I very mixed culture. So my grandparents are from the West Indies and also Irish. And so my grandfather, Irish descent. My grandmother was West Indies. We have a little bit of Dutch. We have a little bit of Native American in there. So it's a blend. It's some French. Um, it's a little bit of everything, honestly.
Sounds like
um,
all of us.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely diverse. I'll say that. And then as far as professionally, I've done a lot of different things. So I'm an architect by trade. So I went to school to be an engineer. A lot of people don't know that, but I did go to school to be an architect, and so that's really what my foundation is. I would say that structurally, it explains a lot of how I think about things, and so foundation means everything to everything that I do. So, but then I went from doing that into HR. So I've been in HR for like the last 30 plus years. Did a lot of like IT stuff. I was like a project administrator, didn't like that. And I think I ended up in HR just because it was all about people. I grew up in a culture where I come from a family of servant leaders, and it was always about really helping people. And so I come from a, a family that was grounded in focusing on community and people first. And so I like to say that organically, I think my profession chose me. I didn't really choose the profession.
I love that. I love that. And having the background architect, I know it's creative side. and then also the engineering I know is a very structured. So wow, it's great to see, and which I know it transitioned in different aspects in your life. I'm guessing too. So no, it's
Yeah,
great to hear that a background, and we come from everywhere as well too, as you mentioned, but also the different career paths, and from your story, you tried many things so you can realize what you love to do and what you not love to do. And so I think great opportunity for everyone to come out and check different opportunities for us that we have to provide them. So thank you for that.
yeah, absolutely.
And keep the comments going. I keep seeing the comments, so thank you all that are tuning in. Next question: can you tell us about some of the Epsilon DEI initiatives and effort? What has the company focused on in 2022, and what are the focus on 2023?
Yeah, so we've been busy, honestly. For for those of you that aren't familiar with Epsilon, so my role didn't exist 2 years ago. So I've been with Epsilon since November of 2020. And we've spent the last year and a half, I would say 18 months, really focusing on kind of getting grounded in what we really want to be known for in the space. And so 2022 was really spent really solidifying and building on that foundation of what our diversity strategy really was, and that was our culture. And so our biggest initiative, I would say, would be culture transformation. And so that's what I've been focusing on. Culture transformation is probably our biggest key initiative when we think about how we transform our culture from the top part of the house to the bottom part of the house. We focus on our top leaders really transforming the culture business practice by business practice. And so I spend a lot of time with our leaders. I work with our top leaders, really trying to get them understanding what it is, what does culture look like today, and then what do we want it to look like in future state. And all of our leaders have their own individual inclusion accountability plans. So we have a broader enterprise global, diversity strategy, but then every leader from the COO all the way down to, our managers will have an inclusion accountability plan. And it's not a one size fit all. And so that's really what we've been spending our time on in 2022. And I don't just own diversity, right? Like you said, I have DEI, I have CSR, and then I have wellness. So I essentially have like 6 pillars of responsibility. But even within diversity, I have diversity recruiting, I have diversity in the global markets. I also own our diversity, our client diversity engagement. So there's a lot of things that happen just within those frameworks and those structures, but none of that matters if we can't get the culture piece right. So it's all integrated. And so that's what we've really been working on in 2022. As we transition into 2023, it'll be more of culture transformation 2.0, but as we go into the 2.0 piece, it'll be more focused on the wellness. So how are we integrating wellness into diversity? Because at the end of the day, it's all connected tissue. If people are not coming to work feeling whole and bringing their true authentic selves to work, none of the other stuff matters. It all connects to how they show up. If they can't bring their whole self to work, if they can't feel like they are allowed to be who they culturally were meant to be, doesn't matter what we're doing. And so it is introducing wellness and well-being into that culture and into that transformation, and really holding our leaders accountable and giving them tools and resources.
No, I love that because usually on the DEI, we do not see the wellness on the program side of things. So you guys implementing that, I think that's a crucial and vital in the transformation in a culture that you're trying to implement. And I did hear some of the architect analogies from bottom of the house to the top of the house. I love that. Love to hear that and what Epsilon is doing in the DEI space internally, and also being able to be one of those pioneers as well too, to kind of the wellness program side of things and how that ties in with the DEI initiatives that you guys doing. So love to hear it. Please, if you have any comments or any questions, we will have some Q&A. So please prepare those as well too. We have love that. We need more representation, culture initiatives, so in so many companies. That way, our children can see themselves in this powerful roles. Yes, yes, yes. Love that. Nice. Move on to the next questions. Love that last question. Our partnership with Epsilon is new this year, Jen, as you may know. Can you tell us what you like to achieve with us in the partnership and what we're looking forward to? Did we lose Jen? Jen is having some internet connection problems. We wait, patiently wait. There's no worries. Add any questions or any comments that you may have for Jen or for Asya as well too, um, as we wait for Jen. This is the virtual world, and so things like this happen all the time. There we go. There we go. Welcome back.
No,
Virtual
I'm
world.
sorry about that. I don't know what
No,
happened.
it's the virtual world. It happens. Something that we always have to be prepared and be flexible, to be ready. So no worries. So Jen, the question was, Epsilon is one of our new partnerships this year. Can you
Yeah.
tell us what you like to achieve with ASE in our partnership and what you look forward to?
Wow. So let me say this. While we may be a new partner for Epsilon, HACE is not new to Jen. So I was introduced to HACE back in 2007 when I
Mm,
worked at a previous organization. And so one of the things I learned early on in that relationship was the importance of what HACE was doing for our Hispanic and Latino and Latinx community. And from that moment on, everywhere that I went, I was adamant that they would be a partner. So coming into Epsilon, when we looked at, what it was that we were trying to achieve, it's really important for me to make sure that all of our marginalized communities and those communities that were underrepresented, that we had an engagement partner that represented one of those demographics or one of those dimensions of diversity. And because of the success that I've always had with HACE, it made sense. Not to mention, you're right there in Chicago, which is where we have a huge presence for Epsilon, and you're nationally. And so that was really important. And I think it was just the relationship that was built, and it's always been longstanding. So I think for me, what's really important is around people being able to lean into what the needs are. It's not one size fit all, and you've always been able to kind of accommodate whatever that's been. And so I think when you're looking for engagement partners, you need to make sure that you're leaning in with partners that hear you. And it's not only hearing you, but they see you. They can really understand what it is you're trying to solve for and not what you're trying to sell. And HACE's always been able to do that. And so it only makes sense. So I think when we think about what we're trying to get out of the relationship, it's just that. It's helping us really educate not only my constituents within Epsilon, but also the community as far as what Epsilon is trying to drive in the communities that we sit and serve. And that only happens by you getting to know Epsilon, Epsilon getting to know you, and then you being able to help us articulate out to the broader communities of what that relationship and that partnership really looks like. And then it's win-win.
No, I appreciate it. And thank you so much for the history as well too, and always advocating for ASE in the line. I'm always advocating that the only way we grow individually and collectively is together. And so love that, and you understand what the mission for ASE is, and is to be able to cultivate the work pipeline, provide these resources to everyone, starting from the bottom
Exactly.
all the way to the top. And so thank you so much for being an advocate and understanding as well too. So. Get your questions ready. We're almost getting close to the end. Um, Jen, we do have a recruitment series tomorrow. Can you tell
Yeah.
us what attendees can expect and learn about Epsilon tomorrow?
I think the cool part about tomorrow is that we actually get to have this event with two of our clients, right? And so you really get to understand how we actually work with our clients and why, inclusion is really our growth strategy. And I think a lot of people don't understand what that means. And tomorrow we'll be able to showcase why, when we look at our clients and when our clients look at us, why it's important that if we don't have that foundation of inclusion, why none of it matters. And we're talking about, what Epsilon brings to the market. A lot of people don't know what we do. And I think tomorrow you get to find out what we actually do and how we, people don't understand Epsilon. And we really want to be able to get people to understand what Epsilon does and who we are and how we go to the market. But more importantly, we want you to be able to see yourselves at Epsilon. And we want you to be able to see yourselves at Epsilon for the purpose of what is it that you need out of an organization. And you'll be able to do that by understanding how we interact with our clients. And we're hiring. We got some great positions.
Yes.
And we want people to see what those positions are and be able to ask questions. And there will be a member of my team there with me, and we're excited. We're excited to be able to bring, all of this great information to you.
Yes, thank you so much. And as Jen mentioned, the recruitment series is first half is a panelist discussion, but then we have breakout rooms and you'll be able to connect with Jen's team and opportunities that Epsilon have. So make sure you register. We will provide the link in the chat, and also if not, you can visit HACE website as well too. Let's open up from some Q&A. Any questions for Jen? Vanessa Gonzalez, definitely think that one company start delivering on or improved. Yes.
Agree. Definitely agree, Vanessa. I mean, I think that's a key, right?
What should we bring? Resume cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Daphne, bring yourself. We want to see your personalities. Listen, we can always connect and see what you have as far as your credentials, as far as resumes and cover letters. But at Epsilon, we want to see you. We want to hear from you. We want to talk to you. We want to see your personalities. Your credentials speak for themselves on paper, but we want to know who you are, and we want to hear what you need. That's what you need to bring.
Perfect. Yes. Especially in this virtual world too, it's kind of, it's tough to show who you are. And so you got to find unique ways and creative ways for you to show, who you are and the values that you have too as well. So, hey, Jen, as we're wrapping up, what are the hopeful or a positive story that gives you hope for the rest of this year?
I think what gives me hope is, like, honestly, I mean, anyone who's ever heard my talk track or knows my story, at the end of the day, I think one of the things that I think we have to always think about in this space is what we get to do. Our jobs they're hard. I think everyone thinks that they can get into the D&I game and they think it's easy because they have passion for the game. And it takes more than passion to do this work and to be successful. But there's two things that I believe that you really need to be successful in diversity and inclusion and to really move the needle. And it's called humanity and it's called civility. And I think that if you can get grounded in the concepts, basic concepts of humanity and civility, and those are things that we grew up with. And if we can get back to the place of restoration of those two things, that's where the magic happens. That's what moves the needle. It's connecting back to the foundations of what really connects people. And it's connecting to what people need and not judging people on what you see. You have to get to know people and have a conversation. We have to seek out what people need. We have to allow people to speak. And we as leaders need to take a pause and listen, right? As leaders, we don't always need to be the first to speak. We don't always need to be the first to say something. Sometimes we don't need to say anything at all. Our jobs are to listen, and we need to be the last to say anything. And sometimes you don't need to say anything at all. And it's about us lifting up others and empowering our people to figure out how we move in this new environment that we find ourselves in. And so that's what inspires me. It's conversations like this. It is, listening to, what people are excited about. It's getting excited about the Daphnes of the world asking what to bring. And I just want Daphne to bring herself. That's what I'm excited about.
Yes, I love that, and you hit it right on the nail of the head. Just that magic is the people. Just creating that space for individuals to come as they are. They'll show you and tell you what the needs are. You just have to be able
Yeah.
to create that space and listen. So
Yep.
that was a great, hopeful and positive story. Thank you so much. Make sure everyone connect with Jen on LinkedIn. Also, can we give everyone help me please give her a virtual applause. Jen, thank you so much for the insight. We look forward to diving in a little further tomorrow doing the recruitment series, a lifestyle and brand that you and your team will be representing Epsilon. Thank you so much, Jen. Hasta la próxima.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you, everybody.